Hello everybody, Lora Levitchi. I'm saluting you from New York, May 16, 2021. One poem I wrote on April 16, 2021. A poem that I cherish a lot, and it's dedicated to a dear friend, Christopher Ganassia. The name of the poem is called Moulin de la Bellassiere. Through the magnifying glass, the tiny one becomes prominent. Hunting dogs felt long ago the hunt. They left it intentionally to escape. Lust for life conquered them. A kingdom with lakes, forests, and hills pours a vineyard far away on the valley. Made the novels of Honoré de Balzac and Victor Hugo to bring their characters among the living. Orchards of apple tasted from the spirit of the heat. They bloom so hard to the last shy bud. Calendar of the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, marked with red, victory. Flags on the castle's towers raised, Tuitio Fidei et obsequim pauperum. The modern with the old sat at the table. Time and space have merged. The meaning of ascending, carrying on the back milestones. It is for that man, stripped of expensive clothes, to perform grand work, to rebuild what asleep once ruined. The nobility of a wise man that enjoys a glass of ancestral wine is given by his modesty. Vintage cars make a royal roundabout at the courtyard of the castle. They are packed and then replaced by Mongol horses. The pulse of the human needs to feel the pulse of the horse. Obedience required in a controlled society needs a rebellion of the stallion. There was an autumn vibe. It seems to predict what will happen. Misfortune first sniffed the prey. They were lurking around. What is now? It has been in the past. Another form of obscure present. People believed in healers and wizards. Being a Christian was a cult. The Knights of Malta raised many cultures through the faith of Christ. Mother of God, blossom wild flowers in their hearts, the most beautiful the world had ever seen, grown secretly, coming to light through the cracks. Emile did not want to die in the shadow of its own old age. It revives through the walls of stone with the scent of medieval times. Through its gardens left in disrepair, it was envisaged an eternal autumn. But one day, in front of its gate, an injured horse in the shadow of the secular trees was resting. Pens from their cases jammed on their own. Parchment-type papers were immediately covered by unearthly writing. Some consider them of honorific nature. Awakened ones felt that God spoken to them. In the light of God, candlestick went out. The frozen darkness of the saffron's bed was warmed up by the light. Hieroglyphs on the walls speak up about ancient generations that made their daily bread, bringing to the mill castle cereals to grind. Groats in their simplicity fed smooth porcelain faces, but also the tortured one remained without a face. Symphonic music is heard in the background. Years passed light in the bed or into the wheelchair. Noble became the man through extreme suffering, he got to know God. The horse ran away from the bullet of his master. His wrath justifies that performance eluded him. His trophies have been forgotten on a dusty ledge. Now young horses enter into fierce competition in which neither one political beast will not resist if he will not be defended by skilled lawyers. Some horses are born to stay wild. Their indoctrination by an outdated social regime makes them even more rebellious. Imprison their vitality when clay from pitch quadrats. It was designed to be placed on the mind of the man. Perjury became an art. Hands that hold writing pens remain stuck. The ticking of the time remained locked in their bell tower, in which was poured melted silver. The spirit of the horse cannot be connected with anything earthy. Through the piano notes flows the celestial music of the trot of his hooves. He runs in the cave prairies on the rhythm of Bach, but the metaphysics changed with Vivaldi. The elegance of his freedom opens dimensions of an unknown radiant world. The nobility of his features, the amnesia of the nights full of suffering, it brings revolt and ego kneeling face to face. It makes the anamnesis of the sweet of life lost in reality and found in dreams. Humbleness comes when no worldly wells. The thrill planted by God in man cannot ever be snatched away from him. Autumns and winters are transformed into permanent springs and summers. The song pours through the ears of the wind, goes through solfeggio to the ears of God. Fearful, the soul of the horse, tremulous, scratches embers with his hoofs. His heart travels through the lawns full of unfulfilled love. Too young to die, too cruel to have all the dreams in life tattered. The pan mine, it seems to him, tied, he destroyed with the hooves. He built new paths. In a world where it is a sin to be Christian and a pride to be an atheist. Springs decide to rain all the sour cherries and cherries in the white reddish petals. Their perfume climb in the skies the immortality sap of the earth. The roots tremble, calling armies of other wounded horses. They come slowly, limping, to the mill transformed into a museum. The joy of resurrection, of defeating the disease, make counts and countless from gilded pictures to shudders. The circuit of life in a perpetuum mobile, the end of cooning has come. The transfer of wealth to the hungry plebs, raised Maltese flags in the front of the huts. Naked baby, hungry mothers, beaten by their men, are running to embrace the manes of the horses with their lives given back. The light of God on the edges of the windows, with spilling paint, begin to shine. It's intensely increased. With each completely healed horse, they ate the dust of the stars. Their auras were reactivated from the universal providence. Thank you letters are flowing. The cultural evening are original artistical reverberations. The war of the evil ones that condemn people and animals to suffering came to an end. Take care of yourself and the loved ones.